Also, Anthony, do you think you could either move your camera down a little bit or just so your face is more centered? Yeah.
He wants to see if you're wearing pants.
I'm not.
Okay.
Okay. How's this?
That's
That's
better.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can
I need to. There you go. Aw.
Am I?
Very cute.
There we go. Yeah. Let's go. Maybe even if I was being really picky.
Yeah.
Okay. Everything's fine.
Okay. All right. Well, everybody, welcome to the very actually official start of season 2. This is episode 1. Make sure to go and follow our Instagram at multilife.pod. Give us a follow. We're going to post updates. And also, I'm about to post, meant to do this last week, but follow our Instagram and check out our stories that I'm about to post because I will post our top 10s of 2024 there. So you can kind of get a recap of what we liked last year. And then we're going to start off this year strong. So now we're going to go around and say hello.
Heck yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Anthony, live from the top right corner of your screen. It's great to be here, and I'm excited. I'm excited for today's discussion topic. Ooh. You laughing at, man? Go do your introduction.
Freaking Garrett, he's just making himself a silhouette.
Huh?
Oh
What's up, guys? This is Garrett back at it again from the bottom left side this time. Yeah, I forgot everything that Anthony said, so I can't copy him this time. But I'm ready to get back into it this year, starting it off strong, January 25th. Let's get it. What's so funny?
You sound like those like enthusiastic YouTubers.
I'm loving the energy.
Yeah.
What's up, guys?
Garrett here. Hey, what's up, guys? From the Multi-Life Podcast, this is Garrett here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, hi y'all. I'm Melissa Ann, excited to be here and to rate and review and discuss our favorite music today.
What's up, everybody? I'm Spencer on the bottom right of the screen. That's all I got. That's all I got today.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
so now we're going to go back into our typical rate and review segment of our podcast, starting off with Her by MINNIE from G-Idol. This is her solo debut, so she's not, she's completely a soloist in this album, not with her group members. But what'd y'all think of this song?
I adored this song. I cannot lie to you. I was a little concerned because the first exposure I had to this song was just no context. A reel popped up while I was scrolling through Instagram of the Studio Choom version of the song. I didn't hear it when it first dropped. And I only heard like the first couple lines of the chorus, and like without the context, the vocals sounded a bit like awkward melodically, and I was a little concerned. I was like, I didn't like how it wasn't super melodic in terms of like having strict tone and how she kind of plays with her voice. But now having heard the song, the like sassiness of her vocal delivery really works for me. And I really enjoy the syncopation of this song. I feel like the whole track kind of lives on the ands of the beats, on the offbeats. And that's really, really nice. And it goes along with, as I've always said, how I really like songs that are just bass heavy and vocal heavy. And that's pretty much this entire song, is just a solid bass line with MINNIE's vocals in the forefront. So this song is a K5 for me. And I agree that the, what you said a few days ago, Melissa, and how cohesive the album is, that even though I have songs like from the beginning of the album with her and like oh my god, I'm blanking, Crazy, what was it called? Crazy, what was that song from the album?
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, I'm being silly. Drive You Crazy, MINNIE and Oogie.
Oh, yeah.
That song, Cherry Sky, are like K5s, but I find myself listening from top to bottom
Yes.
most times. So really, really good. I really like this release.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just going back to my thoughts on how cohesive the album is, like, besides, I really like Cherry Sky and I almost said Big Red Eyes. I don't think that's
Oh,
right.
Blind Eyes Red.
Blind Eyes Red. Yeah. Yeah, Blind Eyes Red. Those are my two favorites. And the other songs on the album aren't K4, but because it's so cohesive, if I had to rate the entire album, the album is K5 because I repeat it, right? So I think that's really hard to pull off. It's hard to have an album where every single song is K4 and K5. So the fact that you can, individual songs are good, respectable, but then having the whole thing put together is like a masterpiece is, I think, just shows how talented she is and how much thought she and her team put into the album. And then it was really cool to see her collab with 10 from NCT because they're both Thai. And so it was like, I don't know, it's just kind of cool collab, I thought. And the song was good too. I think it was called Obsessed. And so, okay, in terms of the song Her itself, it sounded like Queen Card a little bit to me. So I kind of wish it was a little bit different because I don't know whether the purpose was to make it still have that G Idol flavor to it. Because if so, then that they succeeded. But if she was trying to go for something different and establish her own sound, then I'm not quite sure she hit the mark here. But she is so pretty. Like, watching the music video and all the shots being her, I was like, wow, she is super gorgeous. And I don't know, maybe she just doesn't get as much screen time when it's all like the members of G Idol having to show up in one music video. So having her the whole video, and then there was multiples of her. Sometimes she was like facing herself. I was like, wow, she's just pretty from all angles, and her outfits and hairstyles were so pretty. I thought she had pretty good pronunciation too for the English parts of the song, so that was good. That stood out to me. And then going back to my overall favorite song from the album, Cherry Sky, I would recommend listening to that if you liked Rosé's Drinks and Coffee, because it really sounds similar to me, similar vibe, and it has like a similar rhythm. So if you like Drinks and Coffee, go and listen to Cherry Sky.
This is random, but when I look up here, does it look like I'm looking at Melissa Ann?
A little bit, yeah.
Whenever I'm talking, you're just gonna have to look up. And
we'll just be like, oh yeah, that's a really nice point. That's actually, I really agree.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, I feel like my response is kind of taking a page from Melissa Ann's book in terms of how we rated like Uki's solo. Was it her solo debut with Freak? Like the Freak album?
I don't know if it was her debut, but maybe it was her first full album.
I think so.
Okay.
That sounds right.
So I guess queuing back to how Melissa Ann rated it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember you rating it kind of like average, as if like anyone could sing it. And I think that's how I kind of feel about Her by MINNIE. It's not bad, it was good, but to me it just sounded like anyone could have sang it also. But I loved the music video. Like I don't know, just something about like that crazy girl that's in the mansion or something. And for the MV, I liked it.
What's that Red Velvet music video where they're like chasing after is it Peekaboo? Where they're chasing after the pizza
yes,
guy?
yes. Poor pizza man.
Yeah. That's funny.
But yeah, I wish the music kind of changed throughout the whole song. But and then another kind of pointer for me, like, this sounds awful, like I'm rating it like K1 or anything, but I'd probably rate it like a K3. Like, it's just average to me. Nothing really stood out. I felt like her saying the word her, like she put so much like effort into saying it that it felt too repetitive to me. Like for some reason it felt very forceful to for her to say it so many times in the song. It didn't like flow naturally, I guess, with the lyrics. So I guess those are really the only kind of pointers that I have for it. But I mean, it was not bad. I haven't listened to the whole album, so I can't really say anything about the rest of the songs. But I'll definitely have to check them out based off of y'all's reviews.
Yeah, I didn't know when I found out the title of the song was Her, I didn't really know what direction they would go, but it seems like they're going with like the opposite of like I'm him because I think they say like I'm her.
Mhm.
And so knowing that's the theme, I would have thought it would sound more like Super Lady by G Idol, right? Like
Yeah.
super
Like
like
power
girl
anthem.
anthem. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
kind of interesting how they had such a powerful catchphrase with such a subdued, almost like Billie Eilish song,
Mm.
Mhm.
right? So that was interesting. That was an interesting take on it.
I rated this song K4.5. I really liked
Let's
it.
go.
Yeah, so we'll end on a good note, I guess, for sure. I actually enjoyed the choreography video, the 4K dance video by
Oh,
Studio
yeah.
Choom a lot more than the music video. So I think that's is what helped like raise it up. I could definitely see this going like very high in a playlist. I know we're still early in the year, but I could definitely see this song coming up on like my top 10. I really enjoyed it quite a bit. I haven't listened to the whole album like Spencer, so we'll probably have to listen to it, just go out for a car ride, waste like a quarter of a tank and just listen to her album. But
Hey,
yeah,
Minnie's worth a quarter of a tank, okay?
She's worth
Yeah.
half a tank.
but yeah, I just love the chorus and the outfits were really cute. Love the heels.
We have our next song. We have a group that maybe I don't know if like I would have predicted a full group comeback in, I don't know, like if you told me that like a year ago, I don't know if I would have if you asked like, hey, if a group's gonna come back and make a full group promotion again, like who do you think it's gonna be? I don't think GFRIEND would have ever been on my radar, but here they come. Season of Memories, GFRIEND. They're all back. The whole crew. All six. Oh my gosh.
4 years later.
I know. It feels surreal. But man, what a track. I mean, they came out with, it was a single, right? So the single album had two
Yeah.
tracks.
Mhm.
Season of Memories, very catchy. I really like the J-rock-ish or like anime opening style of guitar. And that is mixed with a more relaxed kind of beat that you would expect from K-pop. I thought that was a cool little mashup. And this song isn't Mago. In my,
Yeah.
I mean, Mago was crazy, and then they just dropped the mic and left.
Yeah.
But this song, I give it a K4. I really enjoy listening to it. I think the vocals are really excellent. Their vocal runs. And man, I just know that Lil Uzi is somewhere kicking his feet. He is absolutely living right now. So very happy.
Yeah, almost want to say you took like all of my notes and just read that because I have pretty much the exact same thing. Like I love that the beginning has like sounds like an anime intro. I mean, it's just like the little electric guitar riff that's like kind of present in all those.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, they sound amazing. I mean, they sounded amazing like 5 years ago. They still sound amazing. I thought the train music video was pretty cool. Just like them running through it all and like, I don't know, for some reason I was getting like, oh, they're running through like the different trains of like memories or something. But and then kind of like towards the end when they're all on stage and then they look out into the audience with all of the like I guess people's light sticks glowing up purple or pink. That just gave me so much like so many chills on my like goosebumps on my arm to just see it. It was really cool. And then the more towards the end, I liked how a lot of the YouTube comments like also commented on just the films of memories like of their past. I thought that was a really cool touch to add to the music video. Um, and then I watched the whole music video with the English captions on. And I don't know, something about the lyricism like just hit especially hard is when watching through the whole thing. So the English captions were beautiful. And they have it in a whole bunch of other languages too, like official captions. They're not just
Mhm.
auto-generated. So that was just really cool to see.
Yeah, the part where they were replaying the old clips got me emotional. Like I was already, like feeling very like it was like building up just like the emotions just due to like seeing them again. I really missed
Mhm.
Yuju's voice. I didn't realize how
Uh-huh.
much I missed her voice until she was singing and then all the old clips I was like, "Oh my gosh." Like that was like kind of that hit me hard. And I also they're just such good vocalists. Like they're I don't know. I know this is like an ongoing conversation, but a lot of people are saying how older generation K-pop idols have stronger vocals than some of the newer ones. And this kind of made me lean towards that opinion because there's this one moment where the instrumental drops out and I think I can't remember, it might be Yuju or it kind of like two members kind of split this acapella moment and their vocals are just so powerful yet controlled, very clean sounding. Their tone is beautiful, and I was just like, yes, this is how it should be. Um, and so yeah, I don't know. It just the song itself. I'm not really a fan of the typical like J rock, J sound anime opening or whatever. So it was a little bit hard for me to get into, but the music video like definitely made it for me. And so I'd rate this a K3. But the other song on the single album always is a K5 for me. So I would check that out if you're looking for something that sounds a little bit more K-pop. So yeah.
Well, as a third avid anime watcher on this podcast, I'm gonna be with Anthony and Spencer and rate this pretty high because it sounds exactly like an anime intro with the J Rock.
Mhm.
So I absolutely adored this. I really enjoyed the chorus where they reach like the high notes. Like it
Mhm.
shows like a very powerful presence with like what Melissa Ann said. Like they just have the experience and like it shows in the chorus.
Mhm.
So I really enjoyed it. I rated it a K4.
All right, Spencer, you want to lead us into this next track?
Yeah, I was gonna ask if I could lead it too because uh I'm hoping that y'all lighten the mood by the time I'm
Oh,
done with my
it
notes.
sounds like Spencer and Anthony are on the same page today.
Teehee,
Oh
teehee.
gosh.
All right, drop the T, Spencer.
Um, I think this song helps me realize that I'm just not an IVE person. And I don't mean that to say like, oh, their music, they're such a bad group. They sound bad. But I don't know. I just whenever I listen to IVE is they're good, but they never stick on my playlist. So, and then I guess I really liked their debut with 11, and
Mhm.
I think this song hits or sounds closest to 11 in my opinion. Um, but yeah, I just realized that the more that they produce, their style is just not what I guess kind of listen for, or it keeps me listening. I wish they went a little bit more explosive with the chorus because it kind of sounds the same throughout the whole song. Uh, they had powerful vocals, but the music just blended in too much. Um, and I wrote down that I think it's the electric guitar that kind of needs to change because it sounds the same. And I think that's just what my ear naturally listened to. And the fact that it didn't like get more explosive or like have extra notes to it in the chorus kind of yeah. Um and I realized that I would sound hypocritical by saying that I've saying "Rebel in Our Hearts" is not repetitive, because I think that it's blended in so well with like the lyrics. Like it doesn't sound forcefully put in. It's natural to keep repeating that. So
Hmm.
I think that's what I liked the most about this song was how easy it was to keep repeating the lyrics, but the music was generic in my opinion. So maybe if they'd had a different instrumental, I'd like it better. But I don't know.
Yeah, that the I was also like debating whether or not I should say something about repetitiveness, but I feel like we've made the comment before where the repetition in the song just reinforces whatever notion you have of the thing that is being repeated, right? So if you like what's being repeated, you're not going to complain if you said if the entire 4-minute song is just the same eight
Yeah.
if it's the same 8 measures over and over again for for the entire song, you're not going to complain. But if you're like, I want something more out of this, I'm not getting what I came for out of this, I want them to adapt, I want them to make changes, I want them to do something interesting, then the repetition starts just drilling down the boredom of like, I want something new, but there's nothing new coming every time. It's just, this is what it is. And that's just how I feel about the song. I think I don't know if I want to go so far as to say that I'm not an Ive person, because there are songs that Ive has made, especially 11, that I like, but I do feel as though they're pumping out the same song again and again and again and again. And yeah, I don't want to say that I'm not an Ive person, but their style of what they're delivering doesn't feel very inspiring to me. It doesn't feel inventive. It doesn't feel it doesn't spur my interest, essentially. I don't yeah, I like I know I've okay, this is kind of mean. I like deliberated whether I should say this or not. This song Ive is very popular with children, right? In just in general.
Yeah.
I can tell why. The songs just feel very simple and very appealing to children. Like it, not to say that that's a bad thing. I mean, like
Right.
Apatsu, very, very popular song
Yeah.
with children especially, but just in general, like that song has inventive aspects, has, they play around with the percussiveness and the necessity of the entire background instrumental versus isolated vocals. Like there are things that are played with in that song versus this song feels the same the entire time. I hate the transition between the second chorus and the bridge, which is really the only different part of the song. Which is they're like na 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 na. No,
Yeah.
I do not like that part of the song. The bridge is fine, and the final chorus, because Spencer, what you said about how the choruses kind of all sounded the same, the final chorus was the only time they actually like tweaked anything about their delivery, and it was mainly in the vocal melody. But
Yeah, I don't think
either
got that
like I enjoyed I like the last like minute of the song, 45 seconds of the song, but I don't think if I were to choose a part of the song to like the most, the very end would not be like, if you don't like the rest of the song, having the only part you like being at the end is not cohesive to a positive listening experience. But anyway, I didn't love it. I don't even know if there are other songs on the EP or if there's an EP or if it's a single or whatever. Pre-release. Okay, yeah. So then I can delay my review of the rest of the album for later. But let's just hope that this is a maybe like a Moonlight Sunrise type situation, where Moonlight Sunrise I did like at the beginning, but I liked the bulk of I liked it at the beginning and then didn't like it, and then by the time that the rest of it came out, I was like turned off from the release because of how I didn't like Moonlight Sunrise. And so I'm just hoping that this is not a similar experience where I'm just not going to like the rest of the stuff just because my taste has been soured by the pre-release.
That
Anyway,
is so funny because if you told me moonlight sunrise scenario, I'd be like, oh, that's wonderful.
yeah, I got so tired of Moonlight Sunrise very quickly.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, Garrett, we need to figure out how we're gonna end, which note we're gonna end on. So, which way did you go?
You know what? I'll just let you end it. You know, I really don't have anything to say because like it's kind of like what Anthony and Spencer said, and I don't know if this is TMI. We might have to cut this out, but like,
Oh my gosh. Let's take a second to think. Should we say it?
Let's consider.
Should we say it? Yeah.
well, you know, I'm gonna say it. It sounds like one of those songs that just like you would play in like the mall, but like for some reason when I was listening to this song, I was washing my hands in the bathroom, and it made me have a moment where like, how come they don't really play music in the bathroom? And I was wondering if like this would be a good song to play like when you're in the bathroom at like a mall or something, or like really anywhere.
Dude, what do you mean they don't? I feel like they do play
Yeah,
music
they do play
usually.
music in the bathroom.
Well, I mean, like,
just
that
add
was-
this to that playlist.
just add it to the playlist, I guess. Add to the queue. But I mean, well, I'm talking like the music in the bathroom are usually like wordless, right? It's just like background music.
I don't think so. I think it depends on the establishment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you go to like a restaurant, like if you go to like a burger place or whatever, I feel like, I mean, we all live in Texas. I feel like if you go to like a burger place, they're playing country music in the
Yeah.
bathroom.
But Anthony, we're talking about a mall setting. You know?
Okay, so if you're in a mall setting,
Like a mall
are they? Oh,
bathroom?
maybe they aren't actually. Maybe you're right. In a mall bathroom,
Mm-hmm. So like maybe that's where this song belongs. is in a
we
mall
found
bathroom.
the niche.
Yeah.
There's
Niche.
elevator music, and now there's mall bathroom music.
And kids love to go to the mall, you know?
It's true.
So it works out. But
I mean, that could just be another place for you to go find playlist items, because I know a bunch of people just nowadays they go into like Zara to find like house music.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Literally
yeah.
just go into, like,
Yeah.
Shazam while they're listening because they're like, like they're really just
Yeah.
grooving.
Yeah.
and I also learned a new word called Wong Yonganism, where people in the comments of the video said we should adopt Wong Yonganism. And the like I guess like the mantra for it was like love me, hate me, you will never be me. So
Oh.
we all learned a new word today.
Okay, well, I will end the conversation on a positive note. I really, really liked this song. And it's kind of I don't know, I was just like trying to put myself in y'all's shoes, and I think like I get it because there are groups that are really popular with people of different ages, whatever. And I just can't get into them. Like I just don't, it's just one of those things. Like if you just don't vibe with their style, then you can never appreciate their releases.
Right.
So like I'm not going to name names, but I'm like, okay, if that was the case, then I can kind of understand. But I've happens to be a group that I really vibe with. Rebel Heart, is it like K5? Not really, because I agree, it is repetitive. But I think like as an art form, we have to think of it less of a song than as like what it is. It's a pre-release. It's kind of an intro. It's the beginning, setting the tone of a new era for them. So it's more about creating a sensation or a feeling or a sort of like, I think that's why, I mean, I already liked the song, but then after watching the music video, I liked it even more. And I think it's because they did a good job of painting like a certain vibe, a certain emotion. There was a lot of like angst with them crying. And like, I really like the shot of Yujin just like kind of screaming, just getting all her emotions out. So that one of my notes was I really liked their acting in this music video. I think in their previous music videos, it was all about like looking really good for the camera mostly, but
Visuals.
this one they really amped up their acting, just different, showcasing different emotions, but then also keeping it in line with the emotion of the song itself, which I think is difficult to pull off. So good job on that. I can see Yujin being a actress. I don't know if she's already been in dramas and stuff. Has she? Because I feel like she would do a really good job. She just has a very
just commercials.
Okay.
It looks
Mhm.
like. Yeah, it seems like commercials and music videos. Advertising model for Mega Studies Mega Pass product.
Okay.
Yeah, it's brand ambassador model ships. Yeah.
Gotcha. No, I can see her having like a side role in a K-drama or a movie and really enjoying it because she has a very versatile energy to her. She can really embrace the like untouchable rich girl, like the Chebo theme that a lot of people liked from I Am. To also being like very down to earth, relatable girl next door, just going through it like in this music video. So I see a lot of potential for her, and she's so young but already has so much experience under her belt. So I really hope that she gets to do even more. I thought it was also pretty cool how they featured some non-IVE members a lot in the music video. It kind of reminded me of the Luna Butterfly music video, how they featured like other women. And I feel like you don't really see that in Korean music videos. That's common in like Western music videos. I feel like, but not as much in K-pop. So it's pretty cool how they utilized that, and it was kind of cute that they were able to give a little bit of the spotlight to some other actors. So I'm super excited for this album. I rarely pre-save albums, but I pre-saved Empathy, which is what this song is the song is gonna be on. So I'm super stoked.
When's the release date?
That
February 4th?
I want to say it's probably like Monday, but let me see. Upcoming up. February 3rd.
3rd.
8 days. Okay, never mind. That's farther than I expected, but yeah, super exciting.
Yippee.
Yay.
Positive IVE feedback.
Yes, I'll be the singular IVE fan in this.
I mean, you've
podcast.
rated IVE like pretty highly in the past. Like, wasn't it your number one song from like 2 years ago or something?
Oh, Love Dive?
Mm-hmm.
Was it? No. Well, I remember because was it you or Garrett? Oh, I think it was you made that your at the end of your video.
Yeah.
But
It
mine
was-
wasn't. Mine was I'm blanking. What was the one with the green cover?
Afterlike?
Yes, Afterlight.
Oh,
So my
yeah.
number one was Afterlight, but it
Okay.
was still an IVE song. And then I Am was pretty high, whatever year that one
Last
came
year.
out.
Not last year, but the year before.
Yeah. It was
23.
definitely like probably like top 2 or top 3, definitely top 5. So yeah, I really like IVE. It makes sense, I guess. You mentioned like it kind of is really appealing for children. I think I'm drawn to like groups that follow a very like basic pop format in their songs and then really execute it well or put a little bit of a twist. I'm not a fan of super experimental girl groups. So maybe you can kind of get a hint to what I was talking about earlier, groups I could get into. But yes, that's kind of why I think that makes sense. Like how you explain why you don't like it makes sense for like why I do like it, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyways, yeah. Okay, so we are running low on time. So let's go straight into our new segment, which we're gonna call. Do we have a name for this segment? Current events discussion. I don't know.
KCE.
KCE.
Korean current events.
Korean events.
Oh my goodness.
Anyway, just maybe okay, we'll go back to the writing board. Go back to the drawing board on that. But
Let's just
Yeah,
say
just
today's topic.
general discussion topic, current events happening in K-pop, things to focus on, and then just kind of spur debate, discussion, and see where we're going from there. And today's topic, and very topical by what I'm wearing.
Yay.
It's some Itzy Checkmate merch from their previous US tour. I think their first US tour, other than their did they do a like not a pre-debut tour, but a showcase tour?
I think so.
I think right.
Kyle
That's
went.
where Kyle went. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But their first like real world tour.
Mhm.
And now, just announced, Yeji is receiving her solo debut, doing her solo debut in March. So very soon, within 2 months, we'll have Yeji solo content, which is, I'm counting my blessings because, as a Yeji ult, this is all I've ever wanted in life. And so, yeah, going into that, I think we'll talk about kind of what to expect, what we're looking to hear from her solo project, and we'll discuss a little bit about kind of idols' paths in their career, going from debuting as a member of a group, however many members, 3, 4, 5, 9, 12, 24.
Yeah.
And going from that, where you're sharing the spotlight, it's all about the interactions between your members. It's all about, you're filling your role in the group and serving the greater picture that your group is portraying, and going from that to having to command the stage yourself, having to be the center of attention the entire time. Not only, they're always dancing, but you'd have maybe 30, 40 seconds of lines, some even less, when you're as a member of a group. But as a soloist, you're singing the whole time, you're performing the whole time, everyone's looking at you the entire time. So stepping up into that bigger spotlight, moving from, a member of a collective to how do you carve your own path. So, Garrett, what are you thinking with Yeji's solo stuff coming up?
I mean, I'm excited as you are,
As you should be, bro. As you should be. Did you listen to their Born to Be album last year? It came out around this time last year, January.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of it.
You weren't a big fan. You didn't. Do you remember any of their solo tracks?
No, just
Okay.
I think we went through the whole album on this podcast, right?
Yeah.
I possibly.
Yeah.
So if they didn't stick, they didn't stick, and that's telling.
Yeah, it's just it's a mall bathroom song to me.
Oh my gosh. Well, what do you want to hear from Yeji coming?
I want to hear some rap.
You want to hear rap? Some
Ooh.
Yeji rap?
Yeji rap.
Okay. That'd be, I can't lie, that'd be kind of sick. Because who's the main rapper?
Isn't it Ryujin?
Is it Ryujin?
Yeah.
I assume Ryujin, right? And then Yuna, Yuna had that rap in 20 that went viral because of how fast it was.
Yeah.
That would be that would be kind of fire. I can't lie. Spencer, bro, what are you looking for?
Yeah, I remember listening to Crown on My Head, and I wasn't a big fan of like the big rock, like kind of punk theme that I think it had. So I'm looking for something a little bit more subtle that more or less showcases her vocals, rather than having more like music explosiveness to her, to her theme, I guess. So I don't think I'm looking for something like super quiet or anything like a ballad or anything, but maybe a more like a song that kind of goes back to how Icy was, or Dala Dala. More of a sound like that is what I would like to hear from Yeji. But a rapping part would be cool. So,
do we know if this is an EP or
I
we just know that solo debut?
Yeah, I didn't even know that it was going to be March. I just had I think the details overall were kind of under wraps. So yeah, I think.
Maybe March was. Maybe I saw that on a headline somewhere, but I'm seeing the main article. Yeah, is first half of 2025. Sorry, first half of 2015. Or blast to the past.
Yeah,
twice
honestly,
debut.
2015 K-pop was top tier. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool if she kind of did a throwback sound. But I am hoping for a royal concept just because I feel like we were robbed when Sneakers came out. All the teaser photos were like super
Oh
royal
yeah.
looking.
Right.
And everybody was like, when Sneakers was like the title track, people were like, what? Like,
Mhm.
this didn't match our expectations at all. And they were really hyping up like the regal royal vibes and then
Mature.
dropped like, put my
Yeah.
Yes, let go.
Yeah.
So I want her to like reclaim that for the fandom. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
give them what they wanted.
Put the crown
So-
on her head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that would be cool. I am reminded, so the only like vision I have of her having done anything solo was when she went on that she went on a show and she danced to a Dua Lipa song. She was showcased as like the secret weapon of JYP. She hadn't debuted
Oh,
it
yeah,
yet.
yeah.
know what
I
I'm
know what
talking
you're talking about. Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I thought she did a good job, but maybe because she was still a trainee, um, or maybe she just kind of picked the wrong song. I was like, I'm not sure if I see like solo potential in her. But now that she's matured and obviously like had many years under her belt, I think she could really just come out really strong. And I feel like JYP handles solos pretty well. At
Mhm.
least I was happy with the Twice
Yeah,
solos.
exactly.
So I think it'll be good. Like I don't think it'll be a flop. I don't know if it'll be my style, but I think they'll have a good plan for her. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think that what I'm envisioning them doing is staying on the powerful danced focused sound or song format, kind of continuing on the theme of having that dance break like they did in Crown on My Head, how Yeji had the entire dance break performance during the bridge, and just a lot of belts, a lot of power. I don't know if it's going to follow the same anthem kind of thing topic that we were discussing earlier, but I do envision that it is going to fit with the theme of like, I'm my own person, I am strong, I'm here, I'm raw. That's that kind of
Girl
energy.
power.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree. I was gonna point out like positive solo debut examples that I've thought of. And the first one that I had listed was Nayeon from Twice,
Yeah,
where
that's what comes to
like
my mind.
she made her first EP. I can't remember what the title track is called because I
Pop?
can only
Pop?
pop.
Yes.
Yeah, pop. Because
Yeah.
I'm thinking
How could you
I could only
forget?
think
That
of
was
like
so
Love
iconic.
Countdown. Because I mean, like the entire EP was like really solid. It had good
Yes.
features. It had
Mhm.
like just great cohesion. Pop was very like pop is a very upbeat, like get you up on your feet, get you dancing song. It had the like, you know,
Ooh,
it
yeah.
had the viral dance sensation that could go along with it, and then building off that of going into ABCD and how
Yeah.
she had a successful, you know, resurgence in that EP, and that was had good promotions, and like we've seen JYP take lead vocalists and other, I mean, just in general, like just members of the groups, because I mean Nayeon was a lead vocalist, obviously, like very prominent member in Twice. So same with Jihyo, and Jihyo made her solo debut as well. I mean, and then we had Tsui, where Tsui is releasing her own music, and kind of just yes, JYP has proven that he is capable of putting these members on the pedestal that they are, you know, ready to move into. And then I think that other examples, for example, we've seen kind of a different story with each member of Blackpink, but I'm looking at like Lisa, for example, has done a really good job to command the power and the strength of the anthems that were like Money and La Lisa when she did her first releases. And then now for her to be doing like collabs with Rosalia, New Woman, and growing into a more international audience, growing into that position that each of the Blackpink members have kind of commanded as global superstars in their own regards. Like you have Lisa, who is very much a performer, very much get on the stage, own that shit, make great music and deliver a really powerful performance. Whereas you have Jisoo, who's always been kind of more reserved. Her solo track was a little bit I think kind of followed that motif in that I'm thinking of Flower didn't have a big chorus, a really big out there chorus. It was her doing her little thing. Didn't have a lot of chorus vocals, and she instead focuses more on her brand ambassador roles, her acting. And we're able to kind of carve our own path once they have been, once they've worked so hard to build the presence that they maintain as the group. So that kind of gives them an opportunity to build off of. Are there any other like solo acts that y'all really kind of vibe with, think are good kind of examples to build off of, to be striving to kind of emulate the success of?
So one JYP solo debut I want to highlight. This was a very unexpected find. Sungjin from Day 6. Okay. So Day 6 is a band under JYP, and I think it's Sungjin, but I didn't even remember that he had a solo debut until I really like Sungjin. I really like watching React to the K, which is a YouTube channel where classical and jazz musicians react to K-pop songs. And out of the blue, they just reacted to this song Check Pattern, which is the title track on a solo album. And I was like, why would they like review this JYP band member's song? There must be something really special about it. So I watched the reaction and I'm just floored. Like it's not a Day 6 sound at all, but still has like the band instrumentation. And just hearing his voice for the whole song, you just appreciate it so much more than just like 5 seconds at a time. And you can tell that he was given a lot of creative liberty just by the structure of the song, by how he manipulated his voice. And one of the reactors even said it sounds like he sang the song and then his like whoever was playing the instruments just kind of like built the song around his vocals because it was just so good. So JYP, good reputation when it comes to their artist solo debuts, and go stream Check Pattern by Sungjin.
I think of they're not relatively new to the solo space, but I think of like some of the BTS members, they have good solo presence.
Yep.
Like you have Jungkook with Seven and that whole, not ordeal, but like collabing with Lotto. Like that was a really good and catchy song. So,
yeah.
And then I forgot what that album was called with Standing Next to You. Golden. Like the whole Golden album was really good. And you had some like major collabs on that as well. I can't believe it's already been 2 years since that came out. Or a year,
oh wow.
like a year and 2 months. So
it's not quite 2 years, but
yeah. Well, because on Spotify, they just show the year.
Yeah, it's just
and then
the year.
It's not until you hover over the year that it's like, oh, November 3rd. Okay, never mind. We're a year.
I don't know if this is a trend. It could be both. I don't know if this is just a trend across K-pop in general that we're seeing a lot more collaborations, or if this is a little bit of the personal freedom, the creative freedom that comes with exploring solo styles, that you don't really have to stay as one-on-one with your group's kind of energy or whatever vibe they're going for in terms of releases. One person I think of like Le Seraphim and Yoonjin's solo stuff, where Yoonjin has her solo tracks that she first released, which are a lot more maybe not somber, but they're more reflective and emotional, and singer songwriter, the like with Raise Your Glass, Love You Twice, and then we went into a more kind of pop narrative storytelling through a bit more of an energetic song with like Blessing in Disguise. And then now we're getting a lot of different collaborations with like J-Hope, the I Don't Know track, her collaboration with Max, her collaboration with Crushed and Yes or No. And we're seeing, I mean, there just a lot of different people that are collaborating with both Western and Korean artists alike. I mean, a lot of, like you were mentioning, the BTS members, how ever since they've stopped releasing group materials, that now it's a lot more personal projects. And so I'm thinking like Suga kind of returning back to the August D solo mentality, or maybe not mentality, but identity. And he is showing up on like Psy, they released with the IU People Part 2. Then you have the really, really mainstream songs, Jungkook and Jack Harlow, 3D. You have Apatsu, Bruno Mars, and Rosé. These really like bringing the artists to the forefront. And I think it's very easy to do that in a way. Actually, I think I just had this thought. I think it's easier to do that in the Western market when you have a face attached to it, a face and a name. I think Rosé going with Bruno Mars and being like Bruno Mars and Rosé, Apatsu, here you go, bang. You've got Jungkook and Jack Harlow. It's our brains are less attuned to the group aspect nowadays. I think there aren't like, I mean, I'm thinking of, we don't have the NSYNCs, we don't have like Spice Girls, we had Fifth Harmony for a little while, but even now it's the same thing with like the Jonas Brothers, where early, I mean, now they're back and they're still sending out music as the three of them, but before that it was solos. And then we would have to go look back quite far for the group real idea to stick there. And I think here it's easier to see with the groups when they go on different, like Good Morning America, or when they go on the Tonight Show, or something along those lines, that it can be a little daunting, I think, to see like twice on a show and you see all 9 of them and you're like, there's a lot to this. I mean, it's kind of how even me, being someone who's been into K-pop for like a decade now, right? I am still a little intimidated when I think about learning and getting into a new group, especially when they are as large as,
Triple
Twice
S.
or Triple S. Exactly what I was going to say. Like they have I mean, it's even daunting getting into the subunits because they're like 10 member subunits. And so it's like, there's just a lot to digest. I think it's easier when you have a package, when you're like, it's just this person, one person, her name is Rosé. She speaks English. Like it's a lot easier of a package for people to be like, oh yeah, like she's pretty, she's like, I like her music, it's really cool, I can vibe with this, versus here, listen to these 7 women who are in the package deal. You have to learn all their names, and you have
to know who sings what.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to overcome your face blindness.
Right. And so I think the collaborations where they can kind of platform a single identity, that helps in relaying that popularity, building up that popularity and the message that is the song.
Yeah,
went
Jenny's really putting all her eggs in one basket with that idea too.
to.
It was like what, 5, 7 collabs?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Dua Lipa,
Yeah.
Childish Gambino, Doechii.
Yeah.
Yeah, big names.
I want to highlight a deep cut K-pop and Western artist collab that makes me laugh every time I think about it. The boy group AB6 featured
Mhm.
on a special edition of Lizzo's Truth Hurts.
Yes, I
You
heard
remember
it.
that?
Yes. Because I was
Cracking
shocked when they
up.
heard that.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So that's like the deepest cut collab I know, and just like the
Yeah.
contrast makes me laugh so hard every time I think about it. So, anyways, that was just my thought when you mentioned Western collab.
What are y'all's thoughts when groups who maybe don't have a direct plan or immediate plan to promote members as soloists? What do y'all think of when you see groups have release albums where each member gets a solo song? So like ITZY's Born to Be or Dreamcatcher's Apocalypse Save Us, where all the members got the solo tracks, which then later they got MVs and stuff on the main channel. And so like what do y'all think is, I guess, maybe either what's the point of that? Like, do you think they're just testing the waters? Do you
Yeah, I was
think
gonna say
they're
that.
giving more creative freedom? What's your thought?
I think it could be a combination of testing the waters and also giving the artists and fans what they want without having to invest in a whole solo production era comeback. Like just they can just throw it in. And maybe the artists themselves don't want that much commitment. Maybe they don't want that much exposure. You mentioned the struggles of being a soloist, right? So I remember Yeji, former member of Day 6, watching an interview where he mentioned that it's really hard being a soloist because when he got tired during a set, he couldn't just like back off and let his band members take over, right? He had to like push through. So,
And
yeah.
if I can build off of that, I went
Yeah.
to Yeji's concert
Uh-huh.
last year in Dallas, and that was one of the big themes of the concert was like, I'm not part of a label anymore. They aren't putting stuff in front of me saying perform this.
Yeah.
It's like now it's both a blessing and a curse in that he gets the personal freedom and gets the ability to express himself through his music, express his demons and his experiences and his learning, his knowledge through, his songs, but then also the responsibility of like, I have to make all that myself.
Yeah.
I have to bring that out from within me and present it in a way that will resonate with people and that will be popular. And like that's very nerve-wracking.
One of the fears I have in general with solo debuts is, what if I don't like my old solo? Like, and I
Like
guess
Kyle with
Anthony.
Neon.
Yeah, and Anthony will find out too soon, I guess. But like,
yeah, I mean, like I preferred Runaway to Crown on My Head.
Really? Okay.
Runaway was my favorite solo track from the Born to Be album.
Gotcha. Yeah, because like I feel like with my old is Nikki, and I feel like his solo work will be a lot like Timmy's because just they're like really good dancers, and I feel like they would go that route. But I'm not really a fan of most of Timmy's songs. Like I think they're good, but I'm not like, oh, I'm like getting super into Timmy himself. So I know I'm just like projecting it, but I'm like kind of bracing myself for maybe not being the biggest fan of Nicki's work. And I think I know that it's just like music, but like I feel like I would need to like process what that would mean.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Something else that I want to just to wait. Actually, before I want to move on, Spencer, Garrett, do y'all have thoughts? Anything you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
You took the words out of my mouth.
Oh my gosh, that's Garrett's go-to line now. I don't know. I really liked how Vivis has come out of their group. Like I think instead of doing solo work, I feel like doing like 2 to 3
subunits.
permanent subunits would be a lot more fun and kind of experimentative, I guess, than doing and having the pressure of solo work. But that's just my 2 cents.
Something I think is interesting, and I mean, you can this kind of ties in, is that not always are the solo or subunit things that they create for the groups, not always are they permanent. Sometimes they're just for concerts, for example, just for a tour. And sometimes they make original songs that are only for the tour. And sometimes that group is aespa. And sometimes they don't release those songs. And so like the first world tour that they did, they had 4 individual songs that each of the members performed, and they haven't released studio versions of those songs. The only recordings that you can find of those are recordings of performances from that tour. And then I'm fairly sure that was the same plan with the next set of tour songs that I'm fairly sure. Yeah. They
Karina had to beg for them to
right. And it went from, we aren't going to release this, Karina is going to say, hey, they released this, and then it hits number 1 on Melon.
Yeah.
Like literally aespa the group is competing with Karina for the number 1 spot on Melon. And it's like, it's interesting to see those specific songs, maybe not be monetized when there is clear popularity, clear desire. And then 2, the subunit performances, I'm thinking about like Twice's first few tours when I went and saw, their first tour when I went and saw them at the Forum in LA in 2019, summer 2019. When I went and saw them, and they had individual subunit stages where like Jihyo and Momo did a dance cover of a Taemin Japanese single.
Yeah.
Like Taehyun, Tsui, and Sana all had like a sexy like solo dance cover stage or subunit stage. And then you go from having that to then making subunit tracks like on Twice's Formula of Love, where you like push and pull, 132, these songs where they aren't permanent subunits. Well, eventually like Misamo then ended up being a permanent subunit for Twice, but that's a separate thing. You don't even have the permanent subunit. It's just, we're going to make 3 subunit songs that then got performed at their world tour. And so it compounds, it builds upon each other. They're different products, they're different ideas. And it's a lot of different things go into it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think it's time to wrap up now. Make sure to go and follow our Instagram again at multilife.pod for all the updates, and give us feedback. We're going to be trying to put more reels out, and we've also started uploading to YouTube. So if you're more of a YouTube person, go check our channel out, Multilife Podcast. But anyways, thank y'all so much for listening or watching and have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.